Hi everyone, welcome back to Paulina's Global Flavors. I am wearing my sea unicorn sweater because why? We're actually going to make seafood tonight. So I'm getting into the mood and into the festivities of sea creatures, and you're probably wondering, what exactly am I going to make tonight? So I'm going to show you. Crabs. So my husband got these at Costco and they came in a pack of two twos, so 4 total crabs. And we have 3 here, so you're probably wondering what happened to the 4th one. Well, we're actually going to make crab cakes, and I'm going to show you a simple way of making crab cakes quick, easy, and delicious. If you're wondering what happened to the 4th crab, my husband was kind enough to break it apart into chunks. So super, super excited that he did that. Put that aside. And then white or red. I love having color in my dishes, and so I'm going to actually use the red onions. And because I found this in my refrigerator, it's starting to dry up. We're actually going to use this and just put this away. We're going to cut this up, and this is going to amount to about, I would say, 1/8 of a cup of chopped up red onions. Herbs is a must. The lime, because I'm actually going to make crème fraîche later with sour cream. But this is what's going to go into the crab cake. So my husband loves spicy, so do I. So we're going to put this aside and cut it up to make the crab cakes. But what we're going to mix in, really get it in there for the flavorings, is parsley and then chives. So these are from my garden. And then you do need some breadcrumbs, and we can mash this, but I'm going to show you a cool trick. And then, of course, about 1/2 cup of sour cream that we're going to mix into the crab mixture. So let me just show you really quick what to do with the breadcrumbs. Really simple. You'll need either a rolling pin or a mallet. I'm going to use a mallet. And you don't want to close this all the way tight. So you'll probably leave just a little bit of hole, so when you mash it, it won't explode, right? Because it's going to be airtight. And you want to make it as flat as possible. You can roll it with a rolling pin or take a mallet and just knock it. Oh, this works very well. And as you're mashing it, the air, as it's pushing out, will come out through this little hole, and that's a little trick there, so that way you're not sealing it tight, airtight, and then when you go down to hit it, it explodes. There, that's pretty good there. So let me go ahead and cut up the onions really quickly. You can have big chunks, you can have small chunks. We will want to cook this before putting it in the mixture. I like some bite to it, but I like it spread throughout consistently. So my onions are going to be a little bit smaller than maybe what you would like, but that's okay. And again, this is completely up to you. You can use shallots if you don't have onions. If you only have yellow onions like the one I showed you, that's perfectly fine as well. But again, I'm going for color. Our skillet is heated up. I'm going to put some oil, probably a teaspoon, just because of the amount of onions that I have. Again, about 1/8 of a cup. Go ahead and put that in there. I'm from Idaho, so this is an Idaho cutting board. Oh, that smells good. It smells so good. I'm back with my gloves. So we have the crab chunks here, and for 3 people, for an appetizer with all of these ingredients, breadcrumbs, we might want to add more. So I found some shrimp in the refrigerator. My husband got these at Costco, so we're actually going to add this to our mixture. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this in here. And the shrimp doesn't have to be perfect, but we do want it to be chunky. tails off. You know, you can actually do this with your fingers if you'd like. And then we're going to cut up our herbs. And again, I'm using the stems of the parsley because there's a lot of, you know, they're soft stems. They're not hard stems like rosemary, which is really woodsy. So it is okay to include the stems. And you can make the parsley as big or small as you'd like. You know, if you don't have fresh parsley and you've got dried parsley, that's perfectly good too. This smells really good. So I do like fresh parsley in something like this. Okay, now we're going to cut up chives. Now, if you don't like spicy, because I have 2 jalapeno peppers here, you can do your crab cake mixture, stir it all together, and then, you know, whoever it is that likes the spice, you can incorporate that into their patty, their crab cake patty. Correction, their shrimp crab cake patty. And you'll want to prepare this ahead of time because after you mix the crab cake and to make sure that all the juices from the crab and also the sour cream that we're going to put in infuses into the breadcrumbs, it does need to sit in the refrigerator for a little bit, 20 to 30 minutes. And that way you can form the patty because everything will just congeal. So there we go is our mixture. We're going to add about half a cup of sour cream. Now, some recipes call for mayonnaise. If you don't like mayonnaise, and sour cream is appropriate for seafood because there's the tartness, you could do that as well. So there's that. And you know, I want the breadcrumbs to really, really get integrated well, so I'm going to use my gloves and mix and massage it in. Ooh, we better put salt and pepper in here as well. I love paprika. My husband was in Hungary and he brought back this beautiful paprika. So we're going to put about, half a teaspoon in there. I want salt and pepper, so I would say half a teaspoon. And then remember our sauteed onions, it's cooled now, so we're just going to incorporate this in here. And this is about 1/8 of a cup. Yummy. Oh, this just looks beautiful. Put this in the refrigerator for a while and let it congeal for the breadcrumbs, but I think that this can be molded into a patty. So let me just reserve some, and for my husband, because he likes it spicy. Ooh, yeah. Okay. These are jalapeno peppers from my garden. And the last time we ate these, they were super, super spicy. So I hope this... I've put the cut up jalapeno peppers in this one here for my husband. So I'm just going to mix it thoroughly well for him. Now I'm going to form into 2 balls because these are pretty big. These are going to be pretty big patties for sure. Yeah. So there's one patty. 1 patty, 2 patty, 3 patty more. And here is the second patty. And all this time I was worried we weren't going to have enough crab cakes, but we've added shrimp, so now there's shrimp crab cakes, and this is just going to be absolutely delicious. They're going to go in the refrigerator to just get a little bit more congealed. I'm going to put the ones without the jalapeno peppers in here. And make 4 patties, or 3 patties. Oh, you can smell the parsley in this. It's just this amazing. Again, I'm saying fresh parsley is the best, but if you don't have fresh parsley and you're in a bind, you're hosting a party, then this will do. This one seems to be bigger, smaller. So I'm going to borrow from this one and put it into this patty here. And that's okay to do. We're going to borrow some crab chunks, crab chunks, and put it in one patty. And then we're going to reform this other one. That way they're all perfectly portioned. It's going to go in the refrigerator for 20 to 30 minutes before I pan fry it in butter. While our shrimp crab cakes are in the refrigerator congealing, I'm going to go ahead and make crème fraîche, and it's basically half a cup of sour cream. I do like it savory, so I'm going to do about 1/8 teaspoon of my salt, black pepper mixture. Sour cream is really thick, so you do need a little bit of salt. For half a cup of sour cream, there is 1/8 teaspoon of the salt, black pepper mixture, and that's perfectly fine. And then we're going to cut up lime, because lime gives it that just extra tartness. Even though it's sour cream, we're going to add lime. It just gives it that crème fraîche. And this is about a healthy tablespoon of lime juice. If you'd like, you can put lime zest in there as well. I would not overkill it with lime zest, but maybe 1/8 teaspoon of lime zest also, and then you just mix very well. And the consistency will not be as thick as sour cream, but simply more creamier, hence crème fraîche. And this is still thick for me. It's not dripping, so I'm going to add another tablespoon of lime. Oh, that's better. And this will be the dipping for the shrimp crab cakes. Crème fraîche. Broccolini, anyone? I'm going to saute these up a little bit later, and we're going to eat them with the crabs and also the shrimp crab cake. So let me go ahead and grab them, because it's been about 20-30 minutes. I lied, it's been about an hour, so hang on. So let me just grab them. Ooh, these are beautiful. So as you can see, these are the crab cakes. And now we're going to sear them on both sides in butter and olive oil. The pan is hot, and to test it out, I just wet my fingers a little bit, and you can hear it sizzling, and that just means that it's ready. So we're going to make sure that there's no more water, because water and oil are enemies. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. And I'm going to add, for the amount of crab cakes that we have, I'm going to do a healthy tablespoon of olive oil, the buttery taste of butter, hence buttery. And some folks might suggest unsalted butter, but why not salted butter? We're cooking savory goodness, and so we want that salt, and there's nothing bad with salt, just in moderation. Here are my crab cakes. Turn down the heat. I'm turning it to medium. I'm going to use a spatula and slowly place my crab cakes on there. I love cracked black pepper, so we're going to do coarse cracked black pepper. Sear it on each side for 2 to 3 minutes. Again, you'll want to make sure that you don't burn the butter, and that's why we add olive oil with our butter. If it starts to burn on the edge, use your mitts and just rotate it around like this. Adjust your stove temperature as well. I still have mine on medium, but because I had the pan on high earlier, it's still emitting that level of heat. Smells so good. So it's been about 3 minutes, and I'm going to carefully flip this. And so I'm using 2 spatulas, one to make sure that everything stays together when I flip. Ooh, kind of coming apart. But that's okay, because it's still going to go in my mouth, or in our mouths. Oh, that one's beautiful. You know, and if it falls apart, it's not the end of the world. You're still going to enjoy it. Just try to form it back in the pan as it was. And hopefully nobody will give you a bad review for having it fall apart. That just means more sour cream, more breadcrumbs, maybe not as chunky of shrimp. And again, it's going to be okay. Right. Let that cook a little bit longer. I would say 2 more minutes. Now we're going to put this in a plate. And I'm going to use the same pan for the broccolini, just because I want that flavoring in there. So in goes the butter. And we're going to do a teaspoon of olive oil this time. So 1 tablespoon of butter, 1 teaspoon of olive oil. My stove top is on medium-high now. I'm going to give it about half a teaspoon of salt and black pepper mixture. And you don't want to saute this until it's overly cooked. You kind of want some crunch to it a little bit. I think total cook time is probably going to be about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on what you like. Turn off the stove, take this bunch and flip it. We're going to squeeze lemon. I love chili pepper flakes on my broccolini, just a little bit. I'm not touching it, but this would be like a pinch of chili pepper flakes. Tossed it in there, just to give it that spice. That smells good. And you're probably wondering why my crab cakes were never sticking. I didn't put eggs in the crab cake simply because there's egg allergies in the house. But there you have it. Now, if you're not allergic to eggs, you can put in 1 egg for this recipe. I wouldn't do more than 1 egg, but there you have it. Here are our beautiful crabs. We're going to plate them, and then we're going to serve. Now that I've put this together, this is what the dish looks like. Thank you for watching Paulina's Global Flavors. Thank you for liking and subscribing. I hope you'll share this video. I'm going to indulge in this tonight.